Hello, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening. It is at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Take that. I'm on time. And yes, it is Monday. Yes, it is Monday, right? Yes, Monday. Don't even know what day it is anymore. I'm spending so much time trying to get back in the groove of things. And boy, is it good. I'm happy that I am here. In addition to that, for some of you who may say, Larry, I like chatting with you over the interwebs. Yeah, I'm sure you do. However, I will be actually places. Believe it or not, I will be places, all types of places. This weekend, I will be heading out. So if I can find the actual piece that I can show you, I will actually be places. Hold on, if I can find it here. And there we go. Yes, I will be places in New York State this weekend. I will be in, if I can find what I want. Hold on. I think this will show you. Can you see it there? There we go. Yes, I will be places. I will be this Friday, February 28th at 6 p.m. in Creekside America Restaurant in Catskill, New York. Saturday, I will be at the Sherburne Diner and also at El Rancho and the Cooper Keg at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. That's in Sherburne, Watkins Glen, and Cuba, New York. And on Sunday, I will be at Chef Stanley's in Appalachian and also the Deluxe Diner in Middletown. So if you can come to any of those, please check those out. I posted them everywhere on all my social media. You can see it if you want to. Please check it out. I'd love to have you guys show up. If you can come chat with me and do all the things that you want to do and yell at me if you want to. I do get yelled at sometimes here or there. Not as much as I used to, which is great. I'm happy about that. I don't get yelled at as much. Also, I'm not running yet. If I start running, I'll get yelled at more. That's kind of how that works. But that's okay. But I will be there. So yes, I will be there. So guys, the thing that's funny and I want to bring up is I usually spend so much time because of all the things that Trump has been doing, somehow responding to Trump in some way, shape, or form, or responding to my New York State, which this New York State is responding to something that Trump's doing to it. So I tend to be responding either to New York State or to Trump. But this time I'm not going to. Not today. Today, you know that I've been talking a lot about how Democrats have been messing up and how they should try to fix themselves so they can be a better, we have a better competition for Republicans. Well, two things have been happening recently. And I think there are two examples that are important. One of those examples is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is actually out now, way late, but he is out now trying to, get people excited. He is going into places that are, swing districts and such, and trying to say, hey, look, Democrats, lefties have some ideas, which is what I've been saying for them to do. So yeah, that could be something they could do. Absolutely. And he's actually doing it. Now, he's way too late, and it may be too late, but that is the point. The point is he's doing that. The second part is MSNBC is cleaning house. And one of the people they clean house, which one of you guys told me yesterday, was Joy Reid. I didn't actually know that till last night. I checked it afterwards and said, oh, that's accurate. I actually didn't know that. So actually, Joy Reid is the one I want to talk about because, boy, are people excited she's gone. And so am I. I do try to not be petty, but sometimes I am. It's just true. Sometimes I am. And I've talked about how terrible Joy Reid is for a long time. And I saw a segment on Rising, believe it or not. I'm going to show you this. Robbie Silve did a segment. Robbie Silve and I don't always agree. He is a libertarian-leaning Republican. He calls himself libertarian, but he's really Republican. But he's liberty-leaning, that's for sure. He's definitely liberty-leaning. And so him and I don't always agree on things, obviously. But on this one, boy, they do. I mean, they really do. So I'm going to show you this. He talks about it, just the first couple minutes of it, how he talks about how he feels about Joy Reid and her leaving. And I got to tell you, most of what he's saying is really on the money. And it's important for us to understand really why this matters.
What is on your radar?
Happy to tell you, Niall, you're going to like this one. We're all so excited. Oh, joy. MSNBC is axing Joy Reid's show. Now, she has hosted that network 7 p.m. hour for the past 5 years. Her show, The Readout, is coming to an end this week.
Yep.
That decision was made by Rebecca Cutler, the new president of the network, who has been tasked with rescuing MSNBC's plummeting ratings and dealing with MSNBC's split from NBC, the left.
Now, again, MSNBC has been not sold yet, but it's been separated from MSNBC so it can be sold. It is not sold yet. So why is this new person on board? To clean it up so it can be sold. Remember what I told you, right? Remember when this first happened? I was like, well, is Elon Musk going to buy MSNBC? And I'm like, not right now. Why would you? You have a bunch of overpaid hacks who are not talented. So what are you doing? Are you buying their brand? It's not very valuable. But if you can reboot the brand, not to be good, to just not be bad, it becomes sellable, right? If it becomes not bad, it becomes sellable. It will not become great. Now, why is it sellable? Because then someone else will be prepared to buy it and reboot it completely, maybe change the name, whatever the case may be, or then, make it to where it has a better reputation. But right now it's impossible. You get rid of all the garbage, and Joy is part of that.
Leading cable channel is currently being split off by its corporate owners, Comcast. Now, the new hosts of the 7 p.m. hour will be Democratic pundit Simone Sanders, former RNC chair Michael Steele, and journalist Alicia Menendez. All three are undoubtedly progressive, while Steele was previously the leader of the Republican Party. That was pre-Trump. In the Trump years, he has become a reliable champion of liberal and anti-Trump causes. I don't know Menendez well. Simone Sanders, on the other hand, is someone I've scrutinized numerous times in the past in terms of her commentary on that network. Now,
But why would they put 3 people on versus Joy? Why would they do that? It's a smart move for MSNBC. You put 3 people who will go back and forth, and they won't just go, everybody's a racist, which is what Joy did, right? These are the people, while they may be left-leaning, they're not Joy Reid. People got mad at me because I was very forward on how bad Joy Reid is. And it's not that I hate MSNBC. That's not it. The opposite, if you know, what I've talked about, I watch MSNBC more than CNN because at least they're honest about how they feel. They don't pretend to be, not biased, right? They don't pretend like CNN pretends, right? I'd rather watch MSNBC and Fox because at least I know where they are. So the other part about Joy is people were mad because I called her a racist. Well, Larry, you call her? No, I don't. That's not true. How many people have you heard me actually call a racist? Very few. It's not a thing, right? Who else is on that network? Well, it is Rachel Maddow. I've never called her a racist. She's not. I've never said she isn't smart. She's brilliant. I've never said she's not talented. She's talented, right? Whether you like her views or not, Rachel Maddow was clearly smart, talented, not a racist. Clearly that. I would never call her any of those things. That's who she is. Joy Reid is the opposite of her. That's why I always attack Joy Reid. And Joy Reid thinks or acts like she doesn't think it. She actually hates herself. But she thinks she's better than Rachel Maddow. She thinks she's smarter and better. She's not. And deep down, she knows it because deep down, Joy Reid hates herself.
Sure, there'll be plenty of opportunities to criticize them in the future as well. But let's not move on before bidding a fond farewell to Joy Reid, someone who, in my view, evinced so many of the failings of progressive commentary. It should go without saying that she was biased, though in truth, everyone who does the work of being an opinion pundit is in some way biased. So
and I want to make sure that's clear too. It's not you can't be biased, right? That's not it. I'm biased. I'm obviously a libertarian. I wear it on my sleeve. I talk about it all the time. Clearly, I'm biased. I do try my best to be as neutral as I can. I do try my best that when I'm actually saying things that are biased, I tell you that I'm biased so you know where it's coming from. I try my best to do that. She just says everybody I don't like is evil. So Super Weapon says, I'm sorry, calling Maddow smart is a stretch. It isn't. She's written books. She does podcasts that people listen. She does her homework. Rachel Maddow is smart. Again, I know you don't like her. I get it. A lot of people, I think her politics is garbage, but the woman's smart. I'm just being forward. She is. She's smart. She's Mehdi Hassan and drag. Mehdi Hassan also smart. An absolute hack and just wants to win arguments. Wrote a book about just winning arguments, regardless of being right or wrong. Literally wrote a book on it. I'm not joking. He wrote the book on how to win an argument, whether you're right or wrong. but he's also smart. Like, that's a fact. He's smart. Phil says the super weapons. She's a liar, not dumb. It's a no difference. There we go, super weapons. There we go. So, yeah.
That's not her real problem. The problem is she simply does not understand her enemies, the right, on any level whatsoever. This means her commentary was often wildly off base and pathologically unfair. My favorite Joy Reid quote, by the way, was this one. Education is code for white parents don't like the idea of teaching about race.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. Robbie, well done, brother. Well done. Well done. Robbie and I don't talk much. We talk once in a while. Not much, but brother, well done. What a perfect one. Education is code for white parents don't like the idea of teaching about race. All right. I live in New York City. I know lots of white parents. They have no problem talking about race. They have no problem teaching about race. In fact, many of them really want it like a lot. Like a lot, they want it. Like they want to do only that. Some of them do. This is just stuff she's made up because everyone she doesn't like is without a doubt a racist. That's how she thinks. When I say everyone's an ist or a phobe, she is the one. She is the one who I think about right off the bat. Everybody's an ist, everybody's a phobe. And the worst part is she has no empathy for the right at all. You will hear me often say things like, if you're on the right, you probably think X, Y, and Z. If you're on the left, you probably think X, Y, and Z. Why? You see me talk to left and right people all the time. I have empathy for left and right people, both of them on both sides. I sometimes agree with either side. Sometimes I disagree with either side, but I have empathy for them. She has no empathy because in her head, everyone on the right is simply evil or stupid. As you heard me talk about yesterday, the guy saying everybody who isn't what she thinks is by default a fascist. She believes everyone who doesn't think like she believes is an ist or a phobe. But to be forward, she actually doesn't believe that. She doesn't trust herself. She hates herself. She has a blatantly broken ego, so she must insult because she has no other option.
Dissatisfied with your kid's education? Well, it's probably because you're a racist. Indeed, Joy Reid was obsessed with the idea that everybody she disagreed with was racist or fascist or worse, promoted by Russia.
Yes.
Indeed, Joy Reid was one of the chief enablers, most eager promoters of the Russia collusion hoax, the idea that the Trump campaign worked hand in hand with Russia to steal the 2016 election from Hillary Clinton. Now,
this is the biggest issue that you're going to see right now. The part that is critical. Will the Democratic Party, as they begin to shed this garbage from MSNBC, will they begin to actually go, you know what? Let's stop calling everybody an ist or a phobe. Let's let those crazy people keep doing it in they'll go to their own podcast. Joy will have her own podcast on which no one will watch. She'll become the Don Lemon of MSNBC. Maybe she'll sue somebody and try to make money because they got rid of her because she's a black woman or something. She'll make money somehow that way or whatever the case may be. No one's going to listen to her podcast. She'll go do that, which is fine. Will Democrats then say, hey, why don't we have some actual policies so that we can talk about how to combat and to actually be competitive with the Republican Party? Can they do that? I don't know. But Bernie Sanders is trying that at least. He's way too late, far too late. But will someone else follow? I'm unsure. But this is a good sign for the Democratic Party to get rid of her. Why her specifically? Why is Robbie focusing on her? Why am I focusing on her? Because she was the worst of the worst. Joy Reid is a horrible human being. I don't care. I hope she's watching and hears me say it. I will say it to her face. It's why you've seen me attack her specifically. She is a horrible human being. She is a self-hating black woman, and it shows. Why am I so bothered by that? Because I have black women in my family, to include 2 biracial daughters. So yeah, it bothers me. It does. It bothers me. 100% it does. She is an embarrassment. I'm glad she's out. I hope she goes away. I hope she never comes back. But
that was bad enough.
She will.
But Joy Reid's commentary became even more unhinged during the pandemic when she served as one of the most pro-mask, pro-lockdown commenters in the country.
She's so, and this is why you might ask, why do so many people in that world defend the establishment no matter what? Because the establishment is what propped her up, right? She didn't get where she was because she was talented. She got where she wanted because she followed the establishment rules. Go to Ivy League school, be a middle-class Black woman, act just white enough, then act Black enough when the white people are around. That's how she works, right? So for her, the establishment is perfect. It defends her. It supports her. It makes her wonderful and powerful. Without it, she's nothing. And she's going to find that out. Don Lemon thought he was talented. He's not. He thought he was talented. He's not. He was supported by the establishment. Exactly the same story. So he goes off and he's a joke. Joy Reid will go off and be a joke. Now, I want to keep bringing this up so people recognize this. I'm not saying this about people like Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow, again, I disagree with her politics. She is savvy. She is smart. She is talented. She is all those things. And how do I know that? Because she left MSNBC, did her own podcast, and was killing it to the point where MSNBC said, can you please come back? We're dying without you. We'll give you a full-time salary for part-time work. And she went, deal. That's a talented person, right? So I'm not attacking MSNBC. I am specifically attacking Joy Reid. She is a horrible human being, and I'm glad she's gone. I want to be clear on that. I'm specifically attacking her. Michael says, I thought Joy Reid was white. She wishes she was.
She shamed people for going to beaches. She tweeted that a picture of people hanging out on a beach in Miami was vile. The beach looked like a disease-ridden petri dish.
Because all she does is attack. All she can do. She doesn't have any good at all. She has no good arguments. First off, she's not that bright. I'm not trying to attack her. I'm just being forward. Someone like Rachel Maddow again, Mehdi Hassan. These are very smart people on MSNBC. Again, you may disagree with them, but they are very smart. Joy Reid's not that. Joy Reid falls back to insult, insult, insult. That is what the Democratic Party has been for the past 9 years. Since Trump got on board, all the Democratic Party has done is insult, literally for 10 years. Insult, shame, guilt, that's all they do. So the second you question them, you're an ist or a phobe, and they will insult you. Where's the actual argument? Now, Mehdi Hassan does have arguments. Again, Mehdi Hassan is smart. He will have an argument. You may disagree with him, but he will argue with you. He's also very good rhetorically. His rhetoric is very good. He can go back and forth. He's very smart. Not her. Not at all.
The picture was actually an old one from 2019 before the pandemic, and her tweet was from March of 2021, a point at which most sane people had determined that, you could safely have fun outside. But nothing tops her most recent election coverage. Before the election, she said not to trust the polls because she thought they were overstating Trump's chances. In fact, she accused Republican-leading pollsters of trying to lay the groundwork for Trump to claim the election was stolen from him once again.
Because everyone who doesn't believe her is an ist, in this case, a fascist. Of course, this is right in line. Makes total sense. Of course it does.
Now, we all know how that turned out. Trump won the election and was, if anything, slightly underestimated by the polls. But her post-election coverage was even crazier. She frequently blamed white women, the patriarchy, etc.
Now, I want to touch this piece, which bothers me. She just blatantly makes this up. Why? She didn't do any homework. Again, Joy Reid, not that smart, very self-righteous, just wants to announce that everything is an isterophobe. Now, you might say, but Larry, there is racism in America. There is misogyny in America. Of course there is. Of course that exists. Of course it does. Nowhere near the level that she says. And how do I know this? Because, Larry, you're making stuff up. No, I don't ever make shit up. I give you details. Let me give you an actual example. In 2016, the year that Trump became president, that was the year that Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Let me say it again. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. So that means in 2016, 9 years ago, the majority of American voters voted for a woman. Where's the misogyny? The majority of the American populace that voted for a woman in 2016. That happened 9 years ago. And now we didn't pick Harris because we all of a sudden got more misogynistic in the past 10 years. That's what happened? No, she's full of shit. She just wants to blame people because she's a self-hating Black woman who just wants to blame the world for all of her problems. She's unhappy and she won't take responsibility for her own personal unhappiness. That's who she actually is. She's a terrible human being. Well, Larry, you don't understand. It's racism. Okay, all right, fine. You go back 4 years and then 8 years, and the majority of Americans voted for a black man twice. So we voted for a black man twice and then a woman. 9 years ago, for Obama now, it's almost 20 years ago, right? It's almost 20 years ago for Obama now. We voted for a black man twice as a country and for a woman in 2016, 10 years ago. What? How is that even possibly true? It's not accurate at all. They're going to all of a sudden get more racist, all of a sudden get more misogynistic all of a sudden. It's not what happened. No, this is what I was talking about yesterday. Yesterday when I showed you that video of Tom Slater talking. Tom Slater was saying they call it an ist or a foe because the elites will not accept that the masses are saying your establishment sucks, doesn't help us. It doesn't work. So we're voting against you because the establishment is garbage. This is why as Trump does all his crazy stuff, and I've said a lot of stuff's crazy. Yes, the country's like, we'll let it go because something's got to change. The establishment has failed.
For failing to vote for Kamala Harris to be president. You know who she refused to blame? Kamala Harris herself.
Yes.
Joy Reid called her campaign flawless.
That was actually her words. I'm not joking. Joy Reid said Kamala Harris's campaign was flawless. How can anyone think that's true? She either doesn't, one, or doesn't care and doesn't mind lying. There is no way she didn't have a policy.
Let's actually watch some of that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's important to say that, anyone who has experienced or been in the United States for any period of time and experienced this country's history and knows it can.
So an immediate attack just on the country. Why would someone who hates this country so much be in the media and then be in this country? I'm not saying leave. I'm not saying that. More than anybody, most of you have ever heard, I attack the government all the time. I attack the government almost on a daily basis. I attack the government all the time. But I love the country. I still live in New York City. And the New York government is a disaster. I mean, I'm embarrassed sometimes how bad my government is. But you've heard me say so many times how much I love this state, how much I love the people. I show my Marine Corps tattoo every show. I'm so happy I defended this country. Of course. I can hate the government, but she doesn't say that. She doesn't say the government's bad. This country. Serious question. If you really will spend every day hating this country, why? You could go someplace else. You have the money. They paid you far too much money for this. You could move to Denmark. You could move to Norway. They would take you. You've got cash. You can go wherever you want. But you don't.
Not have believed that it would be easy to elect a woman president, let alone a woman of color. Mm-hmm. Let's just be clear.
And look at these simps. And I'm going to say that word. Look at him, Lawrence. Now, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He knows better. That's the word. Because Lawrence, he knows. He's not dumb. He's a smart guy too. He knows. And he just sat here. And yeah. Why? Because on MSNBC, you can't say no. You can't. When a black woman is speaking, be quiet and listen because a black woman's speaking. I wish I was joking. I'm not. That's how this works here. Here's the funny part. That's no longer how it works. That part I'm happy. Yes, and if you've seen me, I've done it before. I was on, this is maybe 2 years ago, I was on NPR with Howie Hawkins and, Watson. I forgot her first name, but Watson. She's a black woman. She ran for mayor. India Watson, thank you, India Watson. She ran for mayor of Buffalo. And she starts talking about different things. And she starts with, I find it funny, that these men, me talking as a black woman. And I literally cut her off. If you care, you can go check it out. I cut her off and scolded her on live radio. I scolded her. And I said, no, you are not going to play that game with me. Don't start with as a black woman, no. I don't play that because a black woman's talking. I have to listen. No, a smart person's talking, I will listen. A savvy person's talking, I will listen. Their gender and their race is irrelevant. Means nothing. Means nothing. Joy takes advantage of it all the time. The only racist right there at that table is her. Everyone at that table, none of them are racist. None of those people on the table is racist except her. That's why she's gone, and I'm happy. And that's why I'm petty and gleeful right now. Because I'm glad that's why Robbie is petty and gleeful, because he understands what I understand. Her being gone is awesome. It's a great sign that maybe there is some change.
Clear. And nothing that was true yesterday about how flawlessly this campaign was run is not true.
How could she say flawless? While it was happening, if you remember, for those of you watching the show, I was explaining how bad her campaign was. I was literally explaining how bad her campaign was, every error she was making. She didn't go on Joe Rogan. That's flawless. Does she believe that? It doesn't matter. That's the point. A black woman is speaking. Be quiet and learn something.
True now. I mean, this really was an historic, flawlessly run campaign. Queen Latifah never endorses anyone. She came out and endorsed.
All right, so to think about that, she honestly said on TV, in front of her white friends, she said, Queen Latifah endorsed her. That makes it flawless. Does anybody think that's even true? The problem is right now, here's the worst part. What some of you don't know is a bunch of the people on that table, they don't agree with her. They're actually hostages. I'm not joking. They're actually hostages because they can't say anything. Why? She's the only black woman there. You can't say it. How do I know this? Because often, as you guys have seen, I'm often the only person of color in an area. And when another person of color says something, I have to step up and say something. Because culturally, I'm not a hostage. I can tell her she's full of shit. Why? Because I have more melanin in my skin than you? Yes. And I know that sounds horrible. And if you're white right now, you're like, Larry, that's not fair. Correct. It's not fair. And true. That's how it works. Why do you think so many people want me to talk about race? Because I have more melanin than most people. That's the reason why. I get it. Larry, that's not fair. True. And still accurate. It hasn't changed anything. That's how it works. So that's why when India did that, because Howie Hawkins is a friend of mine, by the way. I know some people in the Green Party do not like Howie Hawkins. I get it. There were some fights internally with the Green Party. Howie's my friend. I like Howie. He's a former Marine, just like I am. We've done shows together. I've been on stage with him before. I'm a fan of Howie Hawkins because we're friends. So personal relationship with me and Howie, for those who don't like him, I'm letting you know, I have a personal relationship with him. He's my friend. So he's on there. I just defend it because I'm like, Howie's not going to say a word. Howie's an older white guy. He's not going to say a word. I'm like, I got you. So I jumped in to say that. There's no black guy there. They're all hostages. Maybe if Mehdi Hassan was there, he's probably dark enough. He could have got up there and said something. He wouldn't have, but he could have. So yes. And this is the problem. They're on their own show. They've made their own prison. So they've made themselves hostages, and that's who they are.
She had every prominent celebrity voice. She had the Taylor Swiftie to the Swifties. She had the Beehive. Like, you could not have run a better campaign in that short period of time.
Is that terrible or what? That's terrible.
Now, despite my joyful demeanor, I am in truth never thrilled when anybody loses their job. It's a very tough thing to have happen to you. I've never met Joy Reid. For all I know, she's a perfectly nice person.
No, Robbie, stop. Robbie, stop. I know you got to be good. You got to be good. I've never met Joy Reid either, but she's a terrible person. And I would say it to her face. And I would tell her, I hope she's watching and goes, how dare you? And then calls me some horrible name. That would be amazing. Joy Reid, if you're watching, please be mad at me and call me a name. Because you are a terrible person. And I will say it to your face happily. And if you want to sue me, I would love that. So please feel free to sue me. That'd be awesome. Because remember, the truth is a defense. And boy, will I show the truth.
But I think that if you really believe, as she just said, Kamala Harris's campaign was flawlessly run, and your evidence of how great and successful it was is that even Queen Latifah came out in support of Kamala Harris.
That's right there at the
You're
end.
just very deeply out of touch with ordinary people.
And that's the key. That's the key. The Democratic establishment is absolutely out of touch with ordinary people. That's the key. She is part of the establishment. This is why when my governor has to worry about what to do, my governor, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, that's why, and she said this is known, she talked to Al Sharpton. Why? Because Al Sharpton is on MSNBC. MSNBC is her mouthpiece. So she has to talk to her mouthpiece, her communications team, to make sure what she's doing and saying makes sense. Yet again, I wish I was joking. I'm not. That's what actually happened. She said talk to her. MSNBC is the Democratic mouthpiece, so they have to talk to each other.
And that's not even getting into actually the main Joy Reid controversy from several years ago is that she was accused of authoring these blog posts, if you recall, that were
yes,
actually deeply homophobic, I think was the accusation against them. And she said she was hacked and that she never wrote them, but she clearly did write them.
She absolutely wrote them.
Made up lie. Not that it was the biggest deal ever, but it was weird.
Because Joy doesn't mind lying. One would assume, right? One would assume that she wants to tell the truth. She doesn't. That means nothing to her. Truth means nothing to her.
As a professional journalist to lie about having off, I think it's clear she lied about authoring the post. But anyway, we don't know that she will be off MSNBC. It's just the show has been canceled. I don't know if she's
yeah, who knows what'll happen. Odds are she'll leave. I'm just glad that she got
parting ways with the network. Can't tell. Her staff has been let go. They were very irate finding that out.
She has a staff. Imagine who you have to be staff for Joy Reid. You have to be the left of 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 the left. Socially, not economically. Economically, you are all about the establishment. But socially, you're someone who yells at people if they don't use Latinx. That's who you have to be if to work for her. You'd be that person who will publicly scold someone who's Hispanic for not using Latinx, and you're not Hispanic. That's the kind of person you have to be.
After this news had already leaked to the press, I can certainly understand them being upset. This news did kind of come out of nowhere. I don't think people were expecting an imminent cancellation of her program.
Yes. Myra D asked a very important question. Are Mexicans dark enough to speak against Joy or not dark enough? Here's the issue. If you are Hispanic, you have to be a darker skinned Hispanic and or have an actual accent. Myra, I wish I was joking. I'm not. Was it Mayra? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Mayra. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah. And you're like, Larry, that's dumb. No. That's real. If you don't have an accent and you aren't dark, you become what they call, and you know this, white passing. If you are white passing, you can't do that. So you have to not be white passing, which means have an accent or be darker than me. One of those two is how you have to work. Boy, do I hate what I'm saying is true. I wish I was joking yet again. The name of this show should be I Wish I Was Joking, because damn it, I wish I was joking right now, but I think you all know I'm not.
So I certainly feel for her staff in that regard.
So let me push back on many of the things you said.
Go for it.
Now, he's a hardcore lefty. I get it. I actually like him. I think he tries to have real conversations. I think he's very smart, and he's trying to come back. But boy, does he mess
first
this
of
up.
all, you mentioned that you'd never met her. I have met her a couple of times, though not for several years. She has always been very pleasant and nice to me. So
you're one of hers. You get quiet when a black woman talks. That's what you do. So of course she's good to you. You worship her as a queen, as you're supposed to. So of course she's good to you. Yes.
that is part of it. But also, I think there are about 3 at least different strands to this whole story.
Okay. Tell
Joy
me.
Reid should not be immune to criticism, obviously, nor should I, nor should you, nor should anyone.
Yep.
So there are valid criticisms.
Agreed.
Then in this case, there is the question of who is making the criticism in the general discourse and why they are making that criticism. I think what we've seen is the social media explosion over this, because she is a polarizing figure over what is at its root a fairly straightforward ratings decision. When you look at the ratings,
it's
more often than not, her total audience is a bit smaller than the show that precedes her, which is I Remember show on MSNBC. If that is the case consistently in any form of linear television, where a lot depends on how you're judged against your lead-in,
he's just saying, oh, well, this is my reason why it's all bad.
You're going to be in difficulty one way or another, whether people like you or not. Then there's a separate question, and this is where I think people like myself find ourselves reflexively defensive of Joy Reid whenever we see her being criticized by Megyn Kelly or Marjorie Taylor Greene or President Trump, as happened just a few hours before we're having this.
This is a valid point. If the wrong people attack, people get upset. I get that. That's a valid point. I'll give them that. I see why people get upset. I definitely could see that 100%. So I want to grab, if I could, a couple of comments, if I could. Rick says, thank you for the $5, the super chat. I appreciate it. I'm disappointed that it seems the corporate Dems' response to all this is to continue to be the thing. If I find to be worse than Trump. Hold on. I'm disappointed that it seems that the corporate Dems' response to all this, is to continue to be the thing if I find to be worse than Trump. Yeah, I think what you're saying is they just want to say, oh, Trump is terrible. That's it. And I get it. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Super Weapons, thank you for the $2. Inconvenient truth, non-white can be racist too. 100%. Now, here's how to get around that, by the way. The new way of talking, some of you may not know this, and again, I talk to both sides all the time. The way they say this is, if you can't be racist if there's no power dynamic, you can be prejudiced, but not racist. That is now the new way. Now, that's a thing they just made up. I'm just being very clear. That's made up. But that is the argument. If you tell someone, no, if you're black or Hispanic, you can be racist, they will say, no, Super Weapons, you are incorrect. You can be prejudiced, but racism is based upon a power dynamic. And since the group you're talking about doesn't have power, it cannot be racist. Yet again, I'm going to say, I wish I was joking. I'm not. That's actually the argument. I would argue that it doesn't matter. Racism goes everywhere. And I'll give you an example in my own personal life, which is why I also get mad at this. Those of you who know my background, I'm black on my father's side. My mom was a German immigrant. Both flags, my father's flag when he was in the army over in the military, and my mother's flag from Germany. So right there, I'm mixed race. My father was black, my mother white. So when my father passed away when I was a kid, the majority of his family abandoned us. Why? They didn't like my mom. She was mean or nasty to them. No, because she was white. That was the reason. They didn't like me because I was light-skinned. I'm not joking. And if you're black watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're black listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anybody can be racist. Of course they can. Anybody can. And it doesn't seem bad until they attack you. Well, I got to tell you, when my father died and my mom and I became all by ourselves all of a sudden, boy, I felt that goddamn power dynamic. I sure did. I felt that myself. And when I couldn't handle my own childhood and I went off to the Marine Corps at 17 to get out of my household, which was a disaster, my mom was an addict. She couldn't handle what happened to her. She couldn't handle what happened in her life. And that's why she became a felon. Yes. So yeah, I have some issues here, Super Weapons. In case you had noticed, there's some personal shit going on right here. Yes, which is why I get so mad at this kind of thing. You are correct. Thank you for that. Hey, Ryan, thank you for the $5, my friend. Joy Reid gives me an instant migraine every time she talks. When she had her show, she was a one-trick pony. You knew what she was going to talk about, 100%. Brian, you literally, you would know what she's going to say before she says it. Exactly. And always going to be some form of ist or phobe attack. Always. And an assault on America, an assault on the people, assault on everything. Of course. Ryan goes on to say for $2, good riddance, Joy Reid. Yes. Yes. I know I'm being petty. I know it. I try not to be. I do, but I'm still human, Ryan. I'm still a human being. So yeah, a little petty, a little bit. It's true. Let me see if I could head over. Let me grab a couple if I can from Rumble. Rumble Space Jason says, Joy Reid and her progressive MSNBC audience are all fake. She obviously wrote all that anti-gay stuff on her blog, and they pretend to believe she was hacked. Scoundrels. Correct. She wrote it. There's no doubt she's lying. And again, I'll say it openly. I hope she sues me. Absolutely, she was lying. She did all that horrible stuff. All she knows to do is attack people. Why? Remember something. Hurt people hurt. She hates herself, so she must attack you. She must put you down because she hates herself. He's correct. But they're not fake. There are a lot of people who believe her. A lot of people who get behind her. It's not all fake. So yes. So yeah, the people just want to hate the others. Is what they do. So yes. All right. Let me see if I can grab a couple from Instagram. Eric Stat says, have a good stream, Larry. Yep. Thank you. Rob says, time to run for governor again. Not yet. Maybe coming soon. He goes on to say, our governess is going down. Actually, she is our queen. Get it right. She goes by Her Majesty, Queen Kathy, first of her name. That's all. All right. She went so far now as she has troopers serving for COs. Yep. Absolutely. 100%. So Eric Ashman says, I'm sure the View will have a spot open for Joy Reid. That's actually smart, man. That's smart. Yeah, I could see that. That's a smart move. If I were her, I'd be making that. I'd be calling. I would. That's a smart move for her. Absolutely. So SLG Triathlon says, doesn't someone with money and a presence in the media have power? Yes. That's my point. There is a power dynamic. When you're in the media and you have that, I would say it equates to having power. I would agree. I think you're correct. Nicely done. All right. I will ask you guys if you would, if you haven't already, click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. Yes, the like button, that button. Please do that. It does matter. Every time you do it, it lets this show go someplace else. Why? Because Mr. Rhythm, his first name is Al, his middle name is Gore. That guy, he loves when you click the like button because he goes, oh, you like it? Other people must too. I'm going to show it to other people. He also loves when you share it someplace, when you repost it, share it into a Facebook group, share it on Twitter, share it any place. He loves it into other things. If you're on something else, if you're like on, I don't know, if you're on Gab or Parler or whatever, put it on there. I don't care, wherever you are. If you have not subscribed to me on YouTube, I don't know why you hate me. You love Joy Reid then. That's what you're saying. Not subscribed to me on YouTube, you're announcing to the world that you love Joy Reid. Shame on you. And when you do it, select all notifications to ensure you get them so you know that I'm going live. Please follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble. If you haven't followed me on all three, yet again, you hate children. Don't hate children. Follow me on Facebook, X, and Rumble. If you want to become a member, that's awesome. Membership is awesome. You do so on YouTube by clicking the join button. $49 per month keeps me going. I do more of this. I do less working because I can do more of this. And if you want to become a member on Rumble, you can also, $49, click subscribe during the live. It does matter. You might say, Larry, wait a minute. Are you telling me you'll work less if we give you more money? Yes. I don't have a job. I am a consultant. The more I work, the more I get paid. The less I work, the less I get paid. That's how that works. When I'm spending time here with you for 2 hours a day and X hours of prep, I'm not getting paid. So yes, that is why I bug you for this all the time. Or I got to think about getting sponsors, which is fine, but you guys get enough commercials. Do you require any more? Probably not. So that's it. And also super chat me. Always helps. You saw a bunch of people super chatting. Every one of those helps. Please do so. Or you can rant me on Rumble if you want to. All of those are good. So I'll grab some more comments. And I have one more thing I want to show you before I get going. So Vivek says, Democrats need just to be charismatic and relatable. It doesn't matter if the policies are like Bill Clinton or Bernie Sanders. Maybe. The problem right now, Vivek, is Trump is actually doing things. You may disagree with them. Some of them are harsh. I agree. Some are harsh, but he's doing things. Democrats got to say they're doing stuff. And I'm going to cover that in a second with what Bernie Sanders is doing. got to be doing something or it's not going to work. That's not how that works. They've got to be doing something, right? That's the issue. If Democrats are just saying, we have something, no, that'd be doing something. You got to go further than that. Shelly says, anyone heading to Catskill? All right, someone give Shelly a ride. That'd be amazing. Adrian says, the DNC is being exposed. If the new admin helps people's lives get better, the DNC might have to change. Yes, that is the issue. Now, here's the opposite worry, Adrian. And by the way, thank you for being a member. Here's the opposite worry. And that worry is if the Republicans become so strong because the Democrats just become so silly and just don't change at all, the Republicans will, because of human nature, simply go too far. Because they all do. Because they all do. Yes, that's how that works. My VA lady, the virtual assistant service says, Larry's doing a Q&A this Thursday. Yes, this Thursday. Because I've told you already that I'm going to be on the road Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Clearly no show Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be doing my AMA this Thursday. Instead of usually doing it on Friday or Saturday, I'll be doing it this Thursday. So I will have an AMA this Thursday. I will be out on those six stops. 6 stops this weekend, which I already showed you. If you want to check it out, please head over to any of my social media. I have a poster there telling you exactly where I'm going to be going. Friday night, 1 stop, 3 stops during the day on Saturday, and 2 on Sunday. I'll be there. My daughter will be there with me. So if you want to see my daughter, she will also be there with me. So we'll be there. Johnson says, I'll try to see you in Watkins Glen. That'd be amazing. I hope you can go there. Yes. Christine says, oh, I wish I could come yell at you in person. Just kidding. Love you, Larry. You can come yell. I don't mind. I'm happy. I want people to show up. And the funny thing is I get very varied, Christine. I go to events where like 2 people show. And I go to events where like 30 show. I never know. And that's the hardest part for me. I'll go to a place and I'll think this one should be good. And there's 2 people there. And I'm like, this one might be okay. And there's 40. Like I never know. And I don't know if I can, I will stream it live. There's not always a spot for it. Sometimes, for those of you who don't know, when I travel the state, I always go to privately owned places. No big business, no chains, always individual mom and pop stores, restaurants, diners, gun shops, vape shops, any of those places I can go to, right? I always go to some place local. I try to support local people. That's what I do all the time. You do not have to pay to come to my events unless I do a specific fundraiser, in which is I tell you it is a fundraiser and it costs you money. If I'm not saying that, it is not that. You can just come. I ask one thing of you only, which is buy something. Get a cup of coffee, get a soda if you're not in a good spot. If you're in a good spot, buy a meal, right? Support the local business, right? If you're in a good spot. And if you're in a good spot and financially, and you can bring a couple friends and you can buy them some meals, if that's where you are financially, please do that, right? I'm not getting $1 out of that, but the local guy or gal is. So if you want to come to my events, if you're in a good financial spot where you can buy a couple of meals, bring some friends, and eat. If you're going to go out to eat anyway, eat out at the place that I am. If you're going to go have a beer where I am instead of having a beer someplace else. Just do it there. So that's what I ask. And it's always live. I just talk to people. I usually do some kind of presentation, like I say what I'm thinking or something like that about what happened. And then we just talk. That's what it is. I meet people all the time. Sometimes we just have breakfast together. I'm totally happy to do that. When you want to come, please come. Love to see you. So yes. So, and many of you have come out. So I do appreciate that. Yes. All righty. Let's see if I can grab some of these. Rick says Sanders isn't a Democrat because of that I by his name, but he's the BEITCH of the corporate Dems. Accurate. Mastermind Hour says Robbie was effing giddy. Yeah, I'm kind of with him on that. And Robbie and I don't always get along, but yeah, on this one, we are completely together on that one. No doubt we are. Absolutely. So, peace, lies, like you put on 9 cents, my friend. Super sticker. I appreciate it. Yes, every little bit counts. Appreciate it, my friend. Always good to see you. I'm glad you're watching. So, yes. Matt says, she was a proud Black woman, indicted Trump. My DEI hires doing work. Don't know where that was going. Don't know where I'm going. Yes. Shelley says, Joy Reid's a horrible joke already. Correct. Yes. Correct. Yes. Adrian says, Joy is a child of immigrants. She's Black, but not Black American. Oh, now you're going to get some people yelling, Adrian. Look what you did. You just stirred up the pot. You just stir up the pot. Absolutely. Mastermind Hour says, Joy blames the stars for the nighttime. It is their fault, though, isn't it? I mean, it kind of is. Just saying. Yes. Anyway, let's see here if I can grab a couple more before we head on. Rick says, thank you for being a member, Rick. Larry is what Joy Reid calls a white supremacist. Correct. Correct. I have been called white supremacist before. That's true. And it will always be by somebody like her. Also true. All right. I do want to, if I could, talk now about the opposite, which is Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie's doing something that I think is actually savvy. And this is a chunk from Breaking Points. I did Rising and I'm not do Breaking Points. And this is kind of where I think the Democratic Party may learn something. I don't know. I'm not sure, but they might. All right.
Bernie Sanders, who is now 83 years old, has decided to do this series of town halls about oligarchy in swing districts across the country. And in particular, Bernie, unlike apparently any other Democrat, has this idea that, hey, you know, they're about to vote on this budget that is supposed to massively cut Medicaid and give a giant tax cut to the rich. And there's a very narrow margin that Republicans have in the House. So if you can put pressure on just a couple of swing district Republicans.
Now, you might say, Larry, that sounds like a good plan. It does and it doesn't. And what I mean by that, is it good that Bernie Sanders is actually doing something? Yes. Yes. But here's the bad part. Way too late. Bernie Sanders should have been doing this 6 years ago, 8 years ago, once the Democrats screwed him over in 2016. I get it. They screwed him over. Maybe he goes, well, you know, it was just one time because Hillary, they won't do it in 2020. And they did in 2020 also. When at that point, you got to stop, to Rick's point, being the BITCH of the Democratic Party. You at that point have to go, all right, I'm doing my own thing. And he should have been pushing this type of thing. Go and do something. Right? Go and do something. He's waited until the Democratic Party is utterly broken. The Republican Party is completely in charge. And he's 83 years old. Where you been, homeboy? You had the chance to do this kind of thing literally years ago, not decades ago, but for a long time you had a chance to do this, and you didn't. And here's the worst part. Who's going with him? Nobody. Yeah. Are the Democrats learning? Maybe not. So my VA lady is over on Rumble. Thank you for the $1 rant. I appreciate it. Rumble followers are so close to 350. I have a goal of 500 by the end of March. If you don't follow at Larry Sharpe on Rumble, you love Joy Reid. FYI, this is Libertarian Lady D. Yes. So guys, if you are on Rumble, if you have a Rumble account, please follow me on Rumble if you have a Rumble account. We want to get those numbers up if we can. I would appreciate it if you can. It's very helpful if you happen to have a Rumble account. If you don't have a Rumble account, I get it. But if you have one, that'd be nice. So she is correct on that. So yeah, let me keep going. There's more I'm going to talk about when it comes to this one. It's kind of interesting. And again, it's something. Bernie's getting it finally. Like, okay, we can't just keep doing the same garbage. It's not going to work.
Then you can block them from being able to successfully make those cuts. So he has gone so far to Nebraska, where John Bacon is the representative there in a relative swing district, and also did a town hall in Iowa City, Iowa as well. Turnout has been insane. Reception for him has been insane.
This is true.
And we're about to show you a little bit of this. But in Iowa City, he had to give 3 different speeches because they had 2 separate overflow crowds that he had to go and speak to. So
now this is the issue. This is the issue. How broken are Democrats that when Bernie Sanders goes and shows them a swing district, he packs the house. He packs the house. Why? There's nobody else who will touch this. Now, there are several reasons why. Reason number 1, they don't want to piss off Trump. The governors, who are the heavy hitters, they don't want to piss off Trump, right? We talked about this last night. Why is my governor, the vanguard now against Trump. Why has my governor decided to be the vanguard against Trump? Why is Kathy Hochul the vanguard? First off, because she's not that bright or charismatic. I don't mean to be mean on that. Actually, I do mean to be mean. Now, I can be mean. She's not that charismatic or that intelligent. So the other governors suckered her into it. They said, yeah, you should go fight Trump. It'll be good for you. And she went, yeah, I'm going to go fight him. That's what she did. They don't want to fight. Why? Because Trump controls the cash that goes to every state. And what we found out when Trump cut the cash off last month, that most states around America, about 1/3 of their budget is federal funds. Yes, about 1/3. Some like 36, 37%. Yes. If your budget's 1/3 federal government, you don't want to piss Uncle Don off. Your entire plan was Uncle Joe writing you checks. Well, Uncle Joe's gone. Now I got Uncle Don. And Uncle Don will go, I'm not writing you a check. Sorry. Here come Kathy Hochul. I'm going to take you out. Boy, is that dumb. She thinks if she wins, she thinks, I'll win a lawsuit. Yeah. Why did Eric Adams decide that he all of a sudden wants to get behind Trump? Well, one of the reasons was, of course, there's a legal issue, but something else. Oh, yeah. You know what that is? $80 billion. Yes. That's how much money Trump is holding to give to them. Yeah. He wants that money. Yes. Why do you think all of a sudden the Roosevelt Hotel here in New York City is like, I don't know if I want to take care of migrants anymore? Because they all of a sudden felt good about it, because they learned their lesson, because they can't. No, because their money's getting cut off. They're like, well, I guess I got to go be a regular hotel now. Damn it. Loving that federal money. So Newsom, Mr. Charisma, I don't see him fighting. He's not going to do that. Trump might not give him his money for California. He got wildfire money he needs. He's not doing that. Pritzker, he ain't doing it. I don't see him doing it. No way. No way. They're not. They're walking away from that. Kathy Hochul will do it because she has Letitia James. Letitia James is our AG here in New York. She's the Kingslayer. She's the one who made sure Trump got his 34 felonies. She's the one who got rid of Cuomo, made him step down. That's the Kingslayer. So she will send her knight off to fight, and she will try to defeat Trump. But she will do so. She's already in the fray. So she's already there doing it. The rest of them are quiet. They don't want to do that. Of course not. Now, here comes Bernie Sanders. Why? Because Bernie Sanders has nothing to lose now. That's cowardly. Bernie Sanders, that's cowardly. You know who should be with Bernie Sanders? AOC. She should be. She's not. Yes, that's who should be. She's not. Yeah. All right, let me keep going.
Let's take a look at a little bit of Bernie Sanders. Here you can see him walking in. This is Nebraska, being escorted in by the Omaha police there. You can see the crowd, huge room filled to the brim. There are pictures of people waiting there outside for them. I actually, back in 2018, went to some of these events that he did, supporting various congressional candidates.
But here's the problem, right? The problem that we have here is, yes, he's doing well with lots of people. That's amazing. Good for him. But all he's saying is, still, here's the problem, stop Trump. While it's good he's doing something, he's not just calling anybody an ist or a phobe. That's a good step. You've moved in the right direction. Well done, Bernie. You're not just calling people ists and phobes. You're telling them to do something, which is to get the Republican person to not vote because it's a swing district. So get the person to not vote, with this new bill. Okay. But there's a second piece. What's your answer? Is your answer just more status quo? Is your answer just more status quo? Is that your answer? Maybe. And that's a problem.
Now in Iowa City, Iowa, that was the original crowd in the auditorium. This is overflow crowd, I believe, number 1, where he goes and speaks to them there as well, trying to motivate the crowd. And there was another overflow crowd as well that he had to go. So just a huge reception here for Bernie, which I think speaks to the fact, first of all, he has, unlike most Democrats, he has an actual ideology. He has an actual vision. It's something that's consistent.
Okay, no, he doesn't. That's cope from her. Don't get me wrong. The thing, if you've watched since the election, about maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the election, if you look at what has happened to Crystal, she's having a real problem. I'm not teasing when I say this. I mean this reality. In reality, she's having like an existential problem. She can't believe what's happening in the country. She just can't. She can't believe the left has failed so horribly in uniting against Trump. She thought they would. They did not. And the reason is Democratic Party is utterly broken. The actual left has left the party. Her oldest son, Kyle, is a hardcore lefty. He's struggling too with that. Now he's making money off it because people are going to him. He's making money off it. And she actually hates it. She's having an actual problem right now. I feel like in the next 6 months to a year, like she may leave breaking points, or she may, I don't know, divorce her husband, or I don't know, get arrested. Something bad's going to happen. I feel like, I don't know to be true. I feel like it because she's having an actual problem. She's not coping very well with what's happened, and she doesn't see it. And now she's acting like Bernie's going to save us. No, she's one of the ones who went back. She was supporting Marianne Williams at one point, Jill Stein at one point. She doesn't talk about them anymore. She threw them both under the bus and went with Harris, like so many lefties did. They threw the real lefties under the bus and then went with Harris. And then when that failed, they're like, oh my God, what happened? She's having a problem.
And coherent and makes sense. And he's got a strategy. And the liberal Democratic base has really been just kind of totally abandoned by their...
You can see because she's part of it. She's also been abandoned. She can feel it. And now she's like, well, Bernie will save me. Okay, Bernie has a plan, yes, but not for America. He has a plan to stop Trump. That's it. Now, again, if you're a Democrat, probably not a bad thing, right? You want to stop Trump, you're a Democrat. I get it, right? Of course. You want to stop Trump. I get it. And your people in charge, if you're a Democrat, meaning Chuck Schumer, is a joke, an embarrassment. And my senator, again, I'm embarrassed by my own government. Yes. And then Hakeem Jeffries, yet again, one of mine. Embarrassment, horrible, right? Of course. And Hakeem Jeffries literally sat at a press conference and said, I don't know if we have any tool. I got nothing. And Bernie was like, damn it. Do I got to go do something now? I'm 83 years old. I'm a total sellout. I want to go to my third home. And now I got to do something because you guys can't do anything. So here comes Bernie Sanders. And she's like, yay, somebody's doing something. I want to be clear. An 83-year-old sellout has a plan just to stop Trump, nothing else. And she's excited. This is how broken the Democratic Party is.
Actual, leaders, whether in the House or the Senate, who have been completely asleep at the switch, have not shown anything like the
Correct.
energy or the strategy of a Bernie Sanders. And, this ties in also to just the level of energy that is starting to build in terms of one of the early things we tracked was thousands of calls into.
Now, this is also Democratic cope. And I don't mean to be mean to you. If you're a Democrat watching, I'm not trying to be mean to you. The reverse. I'm trying to give some reality because I would like some competition here with Republicans, right? I don't want Republicans just running for everything. If they do, they will go too far. That's how it works. I know. I live in a one-party state. New York State's only Democrats. Republicans have no power here. When you have a one-party state, it becomes terrible. I don't want a one-party country. Also terrible. No difference, right? So now, the issue that we have here is he doesn't have an actual plan. He's just trying to stop Trump. We have to have an actual plan. This is what she's missing.
Senators and members of Congress. Now you're starting to see this huge response anytime any member.
All right. This is the cope part. There's not a huge response. She's trying to act like all of a sudden everybody hates Trump. You see, he's messing up. James Carville just said Trump's going to implode in 30 days. He's coping too. Don't get me wrong. Are some people mad at Elon Musk? Absolutely. Musk is having some issues. That's true. Trump is still doing fine. Trump's doing fine. He's not going to implode in 30 days. That's not a thing. I think James Carville is a genius. I do. I think he's hardcore. I think he's a genius. I listen to what he says. He's wrong on this one. Trump is not going to implode here. Now, is it possible Elon Musk does? Maybe, because Elon Musk is thinking, I do whatever I want. I'm a leader. I just do what I want. So he might. Possible. It's possible. But right now, even people who are being affected by Trump's policies, they are not blaming Trump. That's happening now. You can find a couple of polls that show Trump going down. That's true. You can also find polls Trump going up and staying the same. What does it mean? As a general rule, he still has higher favorability than he has unfavorability. And he's been doing crazy stuff. This is cope by her. It's just cope. And I get it. She's in trouble.
Member of Congress does a town hall. You see these droves of people turning up who are very upset about what's going on with Trump and Elon in particular. And then you also see this energy and excitement around Bernie Sanders. I mean, in a sense, Sagar, like, it's really a shame that he's so old at this point, because this really is kind of his moment, because he's been proved.
This is not, again, cope. This is his moment. Okay. Bernie Sanders' moment was 2016. Anyone who was around in 2016 knows that was his moment. If there was anybody who could have beaten Trump in 2016, I don't know if he could have been beaten, but if anybody could have beaten Trump, it was Bernie Sanders. That was his time. This is 9 years later. His time has passed. What she means is he's the only guy who's giving us anything. You know whose time it is? People like AOC, but she's too busy selling out. She's too busy selling out. She actually has some charisma. She actually does have energy. I know. She's my congressperson. I remember when she ran for Congress the first time. She was knocking on doors. There was no goddamn tomorrow. She can work hard. I know and I've given her credit for that. She can work really hard. It's her time. She's screwing it up.
Been right on so many things in terms of his analysis of how you actually combat Trumpism and actually offer an agenda that would make sense to people.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, as people know, I think the only Democrat politician who I have the softest spot for is Bernie. I still love him. I really do. And
I got to see Sagar. This is funny. If you look at that, watch the body between the two. When she says something good, he says something good about Bernie. Look at her smiling and happy. She's liking it. But most of the show, she is giving Sagar side eye. If you noticed, she's not looking at him. She's giving side eye. He's looking directly. He's physically facing her. Why? He's confident and happy. His guy's winning. His stuff's working, right? She doesn't. She feels like this guy is no longer on my team. She's kind of upset with Sagar now. She is. You can see how they go back and forth because she's really bothered. Why isn't Sagar mad at Trump? Why is it not working? He's supposed to hate, and he doesn't. So he's kind of laughing and smiling at her. But look, I like Bernie too, in that the guy keeps going. The guy has a similar message. What I don't like about him is he's sold out.
So I appreciate.
He's not really a Democrat, so maybe.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I don't know what it is. All those Bernie clips from the 90s, whenever he's just railing against corporate media and him and Noam Chomsky and all that. I like.
He's the OG.
I can't help.
And I don't always agree with Sagar, but in this one,
can't help but like him. But I guess my caution on all of this is always just, I wonder if we're looking a little too closely for the Tea Party comparison, just because so much of the Tea Party last time was not just organized or not was the organic movement, but it was the influx of billions of dollars from the COVID.
And this is a key that I want to bring up. How did AOC win my seat, right? How did she become my congressperson? It wasn't just because she worked hard. She did work hard. I want to be very clear. I don't want to take anything away from her. Her and her team, they knocked on my door. Like, she worked for that first seat. She hasn't worked for a seat since. But that seat, she absolutely worked for. She was also heavily funded. They did a time special about it. Heavily funded, right? Is Bernie heavily funded? What movement? It's not. The Tea Party was too.
Koch brothers and from a lot of the Freedom Works and all of this, there was an architecture in Washington waiting for the Tea Party. They didn't know it, but they were waiting with all of the dollars in the world to organize all the stuff. It doesn't really exist on the liberal side. Like, if you think about what liberal...
And that's the problem. The Democratic Party is so establishment that they don't want Bernie Sanders. They don't want the actual left because they're so establishment. They want to keep it the way they are. They're corporate Democrats. The advantage of Trump winning in 2016 is he broke the monopolistic hold on the Republican Party. So now there can be people who fight against it. Now, that's bad for Republicans sometimes. They fight each other. It's true. Better for America. The problem is Bernie did not break that. Democratic stronghold stayed, the monopoly stayed on it, and still is there. Larry, how can you say that? Because Democrats got their ass kicked last year. We see that in every way, shape, or form. Their leaders have no answers. And how many leaders changed over? None. None. Now, one stepped down and was replaced because he retired. Democratic leadership, though, is exactly the same. They've made no changes. Horrible outcomes, no changes. They've learned nothing.
Or what the liberal like NGOs and all those other people are the most concerned about. It's like USAID funding, transports. Like they're not ready for some oligarch conversation because they would have to pay taxes. So they're not ready to like get in on all of this. And this is kind of what I think the issue with the Bernie movement here will be, is that organic anger is great. It can lead you to a midterm and all that. But you need to be organized around a real political wedge and project.
Yeah.
Give it to the Tea Party for what it is. They hated one thing, Obama. And they wanted what? Defund Obamacare. That was like their number one thing. I don't see yet anything other than stop Musk or, you know, like kind of like performative.
Now, two parts that I want to bring up. Number one, the people who funded AOC got what they wanted. A young, charismatic person who would eventually sell out. Done deal. Well done. That's what you wanted. That's what you got. Right? Bernie. What do you with Bernie? Beat him up enough, he'll just sell out. Done. Well done. Republicans, not as much. Republicans did have that for the Tea Party. The Tea Party was funded and moved forward. What the Republican Party did well back then, and they thought they could do it with Trump, but they were wrong. With the Tea Party, what the Republican is, it took the Tea Party in, absorbed them, and crushed them. And the Tea Party's Freedom Caucus took them in, absorbed them, and crushed them. The Freedom Party has no real power. The Tea Party isn't really a thing. It's not a thing. It's connected to the Republican Party, but they have no actual power. Right? The establishment sucked them in and crushed them. They thought they could do that with Trump in 2016. It didn't work. And now they're still paying the price for that. Democrats bring people in and crush them. Perfect example of this was Occupy Wall Street. Occupy Wall Street conceptually was a great movement. And some of you I know don't like it. You get mad at me when I say that, but it's still true. Conceptually, not in practice. Conceptually, great move. The idea that it's not us versus them, it's us versus the 1%. A great concept, a great movement. But to Saga's point, no money and no real plan for anything. It was just, I'm mad. So how do I know this? Because the oligarchs of our country actually got afraid. They were like, this is a real movement. We could be in trouble. We've got to do something. What are we going to do? What are we going to do with this? This could be real. We could be in trouble. And what did they do? They said, well, they don't know what they want. Why don't we give them something that we don't care about? I tell you what, we will start doing all your woke stuff. How about that? We will like hire some black trans women. We'll do that. How about that? And then we'll have like, I don't know, anti-racism stories and stuff. We'll do that. How about that? Can we still keep our money? Can we change something else? Can we just do that kind of like stuff on the center? And Occupy Wall Street people had no idea. They were like, did we win? And people started snapping. Because that snapping stupid shit they do when they win, they're snapping. They all started snapping. Yeah, we're winning because I guess a black woman got hired. Whatever. We're winning. Yay. And they went home. And the oligarchs went, whew. Okay. So we get to keep all our money, change nothing systemically, but we could instead just act like we care about, I don't know, Hispanics or something, or women or whatever. We can just do that. And it's all just a paint job. We don't actually care. We'll give them some jobs someplace and pretend like we give a shit about them. Okay, deal. And here comes DEI. We'll hire that Ibram X. Kendi, and we'll have him come to Harvard. That actually happened. I did a video on that. He went to Harvard. They actually interviewed him in Harvard. And I destroyed him in that video. If you have a chance, check out the Ibram X. Kendi and Larry Sharpe. Google that. He's disaster. I destroy him. But that's what I do. So we'll have Ibram X. Kendi, the guy who started an anti-racist baby. I wish I was joking yet again, but I'm not. We'll have that guy go to Harvard. We'll have him do like some seminar at our company. And then we can keep all our money and systems the same and keep stealing all of your money. And Occupy Wall Street went, and that was the end of it. I wish that's completely true. That's the sad part. Conceptually, it was a good idea. In practice, it was a joke. And so that's what he's talking about. And he's correct.
Protest, and it just, I'm getting Occupy vibes off this as opposed to Tea Party, where, I mean, let's be honest, if you look at the political effectiveness of those two things, Occupy basically didn't do anything, whereas the Tea Party, again, not a huge supporter of them or whatever, but they really did. They were able to take over the Republican Party, and they were able to, you know, shut down the government if they wanted to. They basically kick out John Boehner. I mean, they had real scalps behind their back.
True. Yeah. And I think those points are well taken, especially in terms of the organization piece.
Yeah, it's important.
Because people want to pretend like the Tea Party was just an organic movement.
It was mostly organic, but it's about the big stuff on the top.
And there were people there, and there was an architecture there to marshal that organic energy. And I mean, I was running for Congress in 2010. My policy was I would go and speak to any.
Okay, I remember that. Okay, here's an issue. She ran for Congress in 2010. How many times have I told you, people run once and stop? She felt the pain.
Group that invited me that was in my district. I went to
running for office is punishment.
A bunch of these Tea Party town halls, so I saw it very up close. Well, and these people were not like paid operatives. They were genuinely motivated. Now, were they all partisan Republicans who were super activated? Yes, by and large, that's who they were. And by and large.
But I'll let you go with that. But you get the point that I'm bringing up, right? That's the point I want to bring up. The concept of what Bernie's doing is a smart concept. I want to go out with a plan and try to fix things. Makes total sense. I got it. The problem is severalfold. One, he doesn't have a plan for the future. He only has a plan to stop Trump. That's not enough. Now, can you motivate some Democrats to stop Trump? Of course. Democrats want to stop Trump. Clearly, right? If you're a Democrat, you want to stop Trump. Makes total sense. So there you go. But do the independents want to stop Trump? Right now, they're not sure. You see it everywhere. Do Republicans want to stop Trump? Right now, no. They want to see what happens. They want to ride this thing out. You can see it in all the polling. That's where it is right now. They want to ride this thing out. So it's nice. You motivate your base again, which is a good thing. But now, what do you do? Are you going to push Medicare for all again? Is that your thing now? Whatever. I haven't heard about that forever. No one cared about Medicare for all for years. I guess decades is wrong. For years. Are you going to push that? I don't know. Are you going to push a debt ceiling? What are you going to do? What's the answer? Are you going to push putting boots on the ground in Ukraine? There is none. There's no answer. And that's the problem. So it's a nice concept. And something else, though. Nobody else. It's just Bernie. Right? Here is the problem. And I know this too. The problem is there is nobody else. Bernie is not Neo from the Matrix. If anything, he's Morpheus from the Matrix. He needs to find Neo. Now, Neo could be an AOC type, but AOC's already sold out. AOC's already Cypher. Boy, am I matrixing it a lot today. AOC's already Cypher. She's already sold out, right? They're already gone, already sold out. Where's Neo? Now, I told you if the Democrats are going to survive here, they're going to find Bill Clinton 3.0. If Bill Clinton 3.0 shows up this year, if he does, and it will be a he, if Bill Clinton 3.0 shows up and Bernie Sanders becomes Morpheus and makes that person Neo, the Democrats are going to have a very good 2026, and they're going to win the presidency in 2028. If that happens. If it doesn't happen, if there's no Neo, and it's just Morpheus trying to win, Democrats are going to get their butt kicked in 2026, and they're going to get slaughtered in 2028. That's all I'm telling you. That's where it goes. That's how it works. That simply is the issue. So, yes. Peace, thank you for the 199. The magician distracts you. Don't look over here. Distraction is the magician's greatest tool. You're correct. Absolutely. So let me grab a couple more of these if I could. Ryan, thank you for being a member. Larry, I wish I were joking Sharpe. Because things are so bad, I wish it was all a joke. Some of the things I say, like, I can't believe I'm saying them. So, yes. Yes, it's crazy. So Matt goes on to say, I'm not joking. Probably Larry Sharpe somewhere, somewhen. Accurate. Simple Weapon says hostages. They are. Did you see them there? Joy Reid's in the middle. She's in the middle because she's the queen. A black woman speaking. Be quiet. Listen and learn. That's what she honestly thinks. By the way, that is a t-shirt. I'm not making that up. That's a t-shirt. So yes, so she believes that. And so they have to be quiet. They can't say anything. They're not dark enough. They don't have accents. And I know you may think, that sounds funny. Oh, that's real. If you're dark enough with an accent, you can say she's wrong or something. If you're not, you better not say she's wrong. You better not. She'll do that as a black woman thing on you, and you are cooked. That's the game. She does as a black woman, you cooked. So you can't do that. Let me see if I can find. I think you may enjoy this. If I can find it. See if I can find it. Ah, there we go. I was not joking. As you guys know, this is from Amazon. Hold on, see if I can show you this. This is from Amazon. Just so you think I'm nuts. I'm not. I am not. There it is. A black woman is speaking. Listen and learn. On Amazon. Multiple colors. Whichever color you like. I wasn't kidding. That's actually a t-shirt. I've seen it before. And she believes it. So I've seen it before, and she believes it. So there we go. They are actually hostages. I wasn't kidding when I said that. They were hostages. So yeah. All righty. Let me keep going down here if I can. Let's see if I can grab some more. I do appreciate all the membership, guys. I really do appreciate all the memberships. I appreciate it completely. Yeah. Nico says, Larry, I want to get into politics. I'm at Hunter for urban studies, and I'm minoring at the Roosevelt House and interning with Fresh Kills Alliance. What advice do you have if I get in my junior year? That's a very vague question. Into politics? I don't know what that means. Does that mean you want to work for a candidate? Does that mean you want to go to a think tank? Does that mean you want to be a policy person? Does that mean you want to run for office? I'm not sure what that means. Generally speaking, the best thing you can do, generally speaking, is get yourself to as soon as you can onto a local campaign. So if you know anybody who is running for mayor, running for city council, running for Congress, running for state assembly, get on their campaign. Why? Two things. You meet other people who are in politics, number one, and if you're good at what you do, they remember you. Loyalty is critically important in this. I mean, so important here, right? I have been backstabbed by so many people. Oh my God. And the people I trust with everything, right? You guys see Missy all the time. Missy's been with me for years. For years. She is my ride or die. Yes, wherever I go, she goes. So if you can find somebody that you can trust, well, that's great. So get onto a campaign. The second piece is whatever campaign you get on, well, again, whatever you can, please do so. Make sure that you can do enough work to where you can meet vendors. Vendors. Why? Vendors touch other campaigns, right? So that gets you in other campaigns. A vendor will want you. Say, for example, I'll make maybe an email vendor, a marketing vendor, a get out the vote vendor, a vendor who makes t-shirts. Doesn't matter what the vendor is. That vendor wants more work. So they're going to help you get into other campaigns so you can keep giving them work. So get into a campaign as soon as you can, meet vendors as soon as you can. You do that, and I'll be setting you up. So yes. All righty. Speaking of my ride or die, Missy here says, Howie's like everyone's grandpa. That's how he strikes me. A little politically misguided, though. I would agree with that. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, 100%. All right. Phil says, Robbie should know about people losing their jobs. Almost all of his co-hosts have been, yeah. Kim Iverson, Branger, yeah. He's watched a lot of them go. True. He's watched a lot. That's true. So, Gene says, I have seen the Democratic Party destroy the black community. So have I. Just look at what Biden's crime bill did to the black community. Yes, accurate, Gene. Kamala Harris built a career on putting young black men in jail. Correct, yet again. She suppressed evidence that could have exonerated innocent men. Also true. She kept men in prison past the release date and used them as cheap labor. Yes. I didn't vote for either Democrats or Republicans. I'm glad there were choices on my ballot. I wish everyone had more choices on the ballot. Yeah. Agreed, Gene. I think that's completely accurate. I'm with you completely. Yes. Yep. All righty. Mass Pride says, Joy had her I'm with her tattoo redone to say I'm with herpes, so it's far less embarrassing. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yes. Shan says, thank you for being a member, Shan. He says, there is one thing I like about Joy Reid. She proves how anyone can be successful in this country, no matter how stupid you are. Yes, but you have to go through the establishment. That's the only difference there. You've got to go through the establishment. You do that, you're good. You do that, and you are fine. Absolutely. So, let me grab some more of this if I can. Matt says, yeah, speaking of light skin, I never get why my black friends still rip on light skins when other kids are light skins. It's a thing in the black community. Colorism is real. I'm not making that up. Colorism is real. It's a real thing. So, yeah, you're not black enough, too black. You think you're white. You think you're white passing. That's actually a thing. So, yes, absolutely. Dave says, Larry, I'm white and I know about the racism within the race. The brown paper bag club. I don't understand that in the race. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm close. Yeah, it's true. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, true. Absolutely true. See if I can grab a couple more of these. Phil says, the Sharpe way on MSNBC. You know what? I'm going to reach out. Michelle Ann says, how do we get noticed for your lives? If you do it on Facebook, you should there should be a button that says get notifications. If it's on YouTube, again, it must be all notifications. When you follow or subscribe, you must click, if you have it, unclick and re-click, and then click all notifications. That's how you get it. You must be all notifications. That's the key. So yes. All righty. Alexa says she doesn't deserve a platform. She started the fad with cutting off family members around Thanksgiving last year. I remember that. Alexa, oh my God, yes. I remember that. Yes. The issue that drives me crazy is she has said more than once that it is completely okay and acceptable, and in fact, preferred, that you cut people off in your family who don't think the way you think politically. I'm sorry, who don't think that everything a Democrat says is accurate and perfect and great. Yes. Yes. She's a terrible person, Alexa. She's a terrible person. Robert, how are you, sir? Actually, I don't know if Black Americans do understand your from the familial background. Larry, biracials have often occupied positions of higher status in the Black community. Think the paper bag test. True, both of those. And that's why there has been, depending on where you go, there has been some backlash towards light-skinned Black people because of that resentment, anger. There has been some. I agree. There is an issue in both cases. Agreed. Yes. All righty. Let's see here. Coley says, did you just shame us using Joy? Yes. Of course. I mean, it's Joy Reid. I should, Coley, right? Unwashed word. You've been here for a while, my friend. I'm glad you remember. Oh, I just haven't seen you posting in a while. Hi, Larry. This whole thing reminded me of when Bernie's campaign was accused of Russian interference. Scream it loud and often enough, surely it will come true. Yeah. 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 Mayra says, Joy Reid versus Rachel Maddow, who would the left choose? Obviously, Rachel Maddow. It's not even close. If you see the way she speaks, if you see the power she has, if you see her, look, again, I know people don't like her. She is a talented storyteller. Mayra, if you listen to her tell her stories, when she starts her show, she has a podcast where she tells stories. She's good. She's good. I'm just being forward. She's good. People like her, respect her. She seems like a happy person. I think she is in a relationship. She seems to have a happy relationship. I mean, the feeling I get, I don't know her personally, I've never met her, but the feeling I get is that she's actually a pretty happy person, and it comes across that way. She will sometimes shame, but when she shames, it's not, she doesn't say things like, you're a this, you're a that. She almost jokingly goes, and then they're the racist people again. Ha, ha, ha. That's kind of how she does it. There's not a vitriol when she does it. She still does it. I mean, everyone at MSNBC shames. MSNBC is the shaming network. I mean, that's what it's the shaming insult network. But when she does it almost in a funny, joking way. Like, of course you would think that kind of thing. But Joy Reid is mean. She's nasty. She's mean. There's a big difference. So they would absolutely choose Rachel Maddow. It's not even close. Phil says, keto products on sale for the Sharpe way. You know what? I have been against that, but I'm considering I might do something like that. It's possible. I might go there. Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. So I'm open to the idea, I guess is what I will say. I'm open to the idea. So yeah. Andrea, thank you for being a member. Andrea says, I wish there were more like Rand Paul and Thomas Massie in the Republican Party. 100% true. I really wish that. I am so with you. I wish we had another 20 each, 30 each. Just, yeah. We'd have a better Republican Party. 100%. And it should be that way. We'd have a much better Republican Party. Yes. Robert says, either way, Joy Reid's a terrible person. And what's worse is people will look at her as just being black. But she's not even Black American. She has an immigrant heritage, I think, from Guyana. Oh, what? Is it Guyana? I didn't know that. Now you're making me think. Hold on. Now I got to look, Robert. Hold on. Let me see if, yeah. Now I'm going to check just to see. I actually did not know that. I was unsure about that. Let's see here. Oh, yes, you are right. Wow. Her father is from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and her mother is from Guyana. Wow. You are right. Look at that. And that's the thing that people may not know if you don't know the Black community. And Robert's bringing this up. The difference between someone being an immigrant versus being an African-American, right? So Joy Reid, of course, will be against reparations. Of course she would. Why? She wouldn't get any. What? She wouldn't get any. She is not an American descendant of slaves, right? I am. I'm assuming you are too, Robert. We're both freedmen or foundational Black Americans, right? So we're descendants of slaves. She's not. Of course she wouldn't. Yes, of course she wouldn't care. Of course, right? So she has Africans, not African Americans, Africans who immigrate to America do very well. Why? They often self-select. If you are African, not African American, and you can come to America, you tend to be wealthy. Otherwise, you're stuck in Africa. So if I remember right, I think this was last year, it used to be that of all the people coming to America, all the immigrants coming to America, the most wealthy were Chinese, the most successful were Chinese. Now they're actually Nigerian. So yeah, that's a good catch, Robert. I did not know that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. So yeah, so those of you who are not very much part of the Black community, you're getting some Black community education today. So good for you. You get all the cool things. So yes. Michelle Ann says, is Cuba on your list? Yes, it is. I will be in Cuba, New York, not the country Cuba. Cuba, New York. See if I can find it here. Can I find the actual thing? I did have it here, didn't I? Where is my, I have to quickly look if I can and see if I can find, I think I had it on my Twitter feed. Did I have it there? I did have it there. Yep, I had it on my Twitter feed, and I will put it up right now so you can see it, Michelle. I will be in Cuba, New York, not Cuba, the nation. Yeah, I'll be in Cuba, New York, 5 p.m. this Saturday. So if you can get to the Copper Keg, that would be awesome. 5 p.m. this Saturday is where I'll be there. You can see this. You go on my Twitter feed if you want to. Facebook, doesn't matter. It's everywhere. If you want to go, that would be great. So there we go. Hope that was helpful. So, all righty. I want to grab some more of this if I can. James says, I'm sick of independents who caucus with the major parties because all it does is dismiss them as part of the major parties that are being true independents. The hard part is, your point's valid, James, but the hard part is how in the world do you get on any type of committees if you don't caucus? That's why they do it. Because without it, how it works is committees are always split by the two parties. Now, that's not constitutional. That's shit they made up. But that's how it works. The parties run everything, right? So they just decide, right? So if you don't caucus with either party, you can't be on a committee. If you can't be on a committee, you can't be powerful because committees make rules and give out money. So if you're not there, you can't give out money and make rules, which means no donors care about you. That's the reason, by the way. Why do people want to be on committees? Because they want to change the world. No, they don't care about that. They want to be able to change the rules to keep donors happy, or they want to be able to hand out jobs or cash to make donors happy. So you get on committees so you can get make your donors happy, Not so you can make your people happy. They just get in the way, James, right? Your actual constituents, they're a pain in your ass. You don't like them. But your donors you care about. So if you get onto a committee, you can now change a rule to make one of your donors happy, or you can give out money or something so I can make donors happy. So yes. Joel over on Rumble says, I saw it posted on Facebook, the full Sharpe. Yes, it is on Facebook. It's on Facebook and Twitter. I posted it for those of you who want to come out. If you are in the New York City area, I would love to see you if you can. So yes. All righty. Let's see if I can grab some more of these. There are so many of these. I do appreciate that. So Rick, thank you for being a member. He says, I watch Breaking Point, but I'm not a Crystal fan. I was a Crystal fan when she was talking about Marianne Williamson and Jill Stein, and she was actually trying to do the thing, but she collapsed. And she collapsed when Kyle collapsed. When Kyle went, no, we got to do Kamala, she followed right behind him. Now, here's the worst part. If I remember the story right, I think Marianne Williamson actually married these guys. Like she was their official when they got married. You threw her under the bus? She married you. You threw her under the bus? That's some bad stuff, right? So yeah, but still, it was after the election she's really become, in my view, kind of emotionally broken since the election. About 2 weeks, 3 weeks after the election, when she really understood what's happening. And after the inauguration, oh my God, she is just like, what's going on? She recognizes the error she made and she's trying to get around it. So yes. Mastermind Hour says, Crystal Ball has 2 sons. So Kyle has at least a pair of step balls. You are cracking the jokes tonight, Mastermind. Look at you cracking the jokes. There we go. I like that. Phil says, Crystal Ball doesn't have much predictive ability. That's cute. Look at you guys cracking jokes tonight. Yeah, Crystal Ball is not a very good crystal ball. That's true. Yes. So, all right. Missy says, I was a burner back in the day before I joined the government. I think a lot of people were. Yes. I think a lot of people were. Yes. So, Peace Logic he's a member over on Rumble. He says, Kyle and Crystal also threw Rogan under the bus. Yes. But it wasn't Crystal, it was Kyle. Because Kyle believes he's the smartest guy in the room. I'm not joking. If you ever watch his show, he honestly thinks he's the smartest, the savviest, the coolest guy in the room. He is basically insufferable, which is why he got her. But he's basically insufferable. So yes, he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. He don't need no Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan isn't left enough for him. And yes, he threw him. And Rogan gave these guys a platform more than once. One of the reasons why Kyle and Crystal got so good is because he gave them platforms. He gave Crystal platforms more than once. Crystal bit that hand that fed her, both when it comes to Marianne Williamson, bit the hand that fed her when it comes to Joe Rogan. I don't know you want to bite all them hands. Joe Rogan, if you happen to be watching, I'm not biting that hand. You gave me a shot. I haven't thrown you on the bus. Always give me a second shot. So, yes, for those who don't know, I was on Joe Rogan in 2018. If you guys care, Larry Sharpe, Joe Rogan. Not that I know, it's just episode 1167. Not that I know that. Not that I'm paying it. Not that I care. 1167. Just saying, you can watch it if you want to. 1167. Not that I know that. Not that I memorized it. I would never do something like that. Never. That'd be silly. As if I care. I don't care. Any case, yes. Mastermind says Bernie loves to show up in red states because he's not afraid. I like that. Now, why can't he do it against his own Democrats? That'd be nice. So, yes, absolutely. Nico says it's because of her man. I agree with you. That's my point. Nico agreed. Yes, her man is actually snapped. I agree. I think you're right. There was that was a silly thing to do. I don't get it. Yes. I don't get it. It's silly. And I am to be forward with you. I think something negative. I think there is a serious chance that Crystal does something negative for her own career this year, like leaving the show or fighting somebody or something like that, right? I just see it. I think it could happen. Phil says, Brown Joy Gray and Sabby Sabs have abandoned Democrats and seem to have helped their mental health. Yes, you heard me say that. I know Sabby. I know Brown Joy Gray. Brown doesn't talk to me anymore. I wish she would. Sabby still does. I've been on her show. She's been on my show. Sabby's wonderful. She's out of Boston. Is she out of Boston? I think she's out of Boston. Brown Joy Gray lives outside DC, I think. Does she? No, I think she does. Anyway, but yeah, they were like, no, Democrats are bad. They're not the left. Sabby and Brianna are actual leftists. They believe in leftist economics. They actually believe in that. I don't, obviously, but it doesn't matter. I respect them as people who want to fix. If you talk to Sabby, she doesn't just go, Democrats good. She says she has a way of fixing America. She wants to make things better. Brianna Joy Gray, she wants to fix things. She wants to make things better. She's not like, the establishment is great. And funny thing is, Brianna Joy Gray, her background, she should be establishment, but she's not. Like she was, hold on, was she, if I'm not mistaken, I think she was the communications director for Bernie Sanders, if I'm not mistaken. I think she was. She took her Bernie stuff seriously. And she's like, no, Bernie might have sold out, but I'm not. Like, she's like hardcore. So, Phil, I agree completely. I have respect for them. I do. I have respect for them, whether we agree or not. And I personally like Brianna. I think she's honest. I think she's, and I think the work she did with Robbie, the amount of, when her and Robbie used to fight, the amount of grace she showed under fire. Brianna, if you happen to be watching, I hope you are. Well done. I know I sent it to her. I already told her that I felt that way, but I'll say it publicly. Well done. Brianna Joy Gray and Robbie Swabe were the best Risings ever had. Hands down, the best Risings ever had. Not even close. And she went out of her way to say what she felt. She was all in on many things, and she was always all in. So, well done. And Sabby never backed down from what she thought. So, whatever you might think, these people believe what they believe, and they do it because they want to help. Respect. That's all I can say. I hope that makes sense at least. So, Ryan, thank you for the $5. Larry, you got me self-conscious with virtue signaling. Ooh, I like that. Yes, I like that. I try to not virtue signal. I do, but I do too sometimes. I mean, I wish I couldn't, but look, I'm human, right? So I do it too. And sometimes it's all you have, Ryan. Sometimes it's all you got. Like, there's nothing else. Like, you don't have a chance to make a change. You don't have a chance to do anything. You can't change anything. So what are you going to do? I'm a virtue signal. That's all I got. So, yeah, I think that's true. So, it's okay. All right. Nico says, excuse me, I'm from Staten Island, Larry. We're basically sovereign. Oh, yeah. No, I was just in Staten Island 2 weeks ago. You know, Frank Morano's running. I mean, if you can get on Frank's team, Frank's brilliant. He's smart. Probably going to win. Get on his team if you can. I love that idea. Yes, I absolutely think that's a great idea if you can get on his team. He's smart and savvy. Yeah, and raising money. I know I donated to him because he's my friend. I gave him money. So yes, absolutely yes. So, all right. Okay, see if I can do this here. Let's see. Gray says the Bernie Bros funded Bernie. Accurate. Yes. 100%. I completely get that. Yes. All righty. Cage says mastermind. Oh, for okay. Oh, that's someone else. Sorry. Yep. So Missy doesn't like AOC. I don't either. Right? I don't either. But I respected her hustle, Missy. I did. I respected her hustle. She's lost that, but I did respect it. So yeah. Over on Rumble, Straight Dan, thank you for $2. Bernie could be on tour for Maha, but he's corporate owned. You know, brilliant, Straight Dan. brilliant. If Bernie Sanders had gotten on the RFK train, RFK might have actually stayed in because Bernie Sanders would have brought in so much more money, so much more validity. If Bernie had jumped on the RFK train afterwards, Bernie right now could be converting Republicans away from MAGA and into Maha. You're totally correct. He could be making a change. He could be finding a middle ground. He could be doing it. Sure, that's brilliant. He could be doing it, but that's not who he is. He's not who he is. He's not Neo, and he's not even a good Morpheus. And that's what's so disappointing, because people like him because they believe him, right? People believe that he believes. And he threw that away, which is a shame for so many people, right? So many people. So anyway, you're right. It's disappointing. It absolutely is disappointing. So, all righty. Grace says, Larry, I would love to see Joy Reid in a Sharpe way. Look, I'll talk to her. I'll reach out. And how you guys, know if I have someone on my show, I will never ambush them. It's not a thing I do. I will never ambush them, right? If she wants to be mad at me, we can fight, but I'll let her know in advance. Like if we're going to debate or be aggressive, I would not just ambush somebody. It's not a thing I would do. So yeah, that's not a thing. You have to make sure that the person doesn't get ambushed. So, but look, I'll reach out. The worst you can say is no. She'll probably just ignore me because I'm nowhere near cool enough to be with her. I mean, she's super cool. I'm just some guy. So yes. So Mastermind says, does that make Hunter Biden oh yes, hold on, I can say it right there. Merovingian? Who would be them? No, that's the establishment, right? That's like, I don't know. That guy is like Mitch McConnell, right? Mitch McConnell, right? So Trump is, or maybe Elon is Neo. I don't know. Maybe Trump is Neo. I don't know. Whoever's in this thing, whoever's Neo. I don't know. Whoever's the Neo character. Maybe it's Trump, right? So Trump's like, I'll handle him. And then Mitch McConnell's like, handle him. How dare him say that? And then he gets handled. So it's more like that. I would say that's the Merovingian is by default the establishment in whatever way they were. So if Bernie Sanders is in our thing we're making up here, if Bernie Sanders is Morpheus, and in theory AOC or whomever is the Bill Clinton 3.0 is Neo, then the Merovingian would be like the Nancy Pelosi's and the Chuck Schumers of the world. That's who they would be. Yes. Hope that makes sense. So I don't know. Are we making this up? We are. We're just making stuff up here. But I think it's interesting. The concept's interesting. So yeah, I think that makes sense. So Greg, how are you, sir? Maybe it would help Sanders if he just started making funny memes with himself in them. His meme game's not bad. He's got a lot of people who are okay. They're not great, but they're not bad. So yeah. Andrea says, thank you for being a member, Andrea. I like my shirt from Amazon. It reads, I need a new conspiracy theory because all my ones came true. Wow. 100% correct. Andrea, 100% correct. So many people could not believe that. Yeah. K. John says, Larry, when are we getting merch? I need my Sharpe Program t-shirt with your face saying, I wish I were joking. Take my money now. I'm not joking either. You know what? I hadn't thought of something like that. I got to think, if I decide to run, I'll have to figure out when I'm going to announce if I decide to run, right? If I run for governor, I could announce as early as June, July, or as late as next December. I don't know when. And again, I haven't decided I'm going to run yet. But if I do, I could. And then I have decided what will be my new logo, what will be my new look. I had a look for 2018. I'm sorry, 2018, 2022. I'll have a different look, whatever that is, for 2026 if I make the run. So I don't even know what that is yet. I haven't gone down that road yet at all, Case John. But I will at one point. And I may use the I wish I were joking thing. I say it so much now. I might do that. It's not bad. I like that idea. Yeah. This is like, we do need merch. You're right. But I got to figure it out. I don't just want to do it. And I don't want to, something else I want to do. I don't want, a lot of people want me to run. I get it. I do. I know people want me to run. running is brutal. Running sucks up. I can't consult. I can't work when I run. I have to just run. And I have to raise money constantly. I've got to keep learning stuff constantly. It is brutal to do it well. You can be a crappy candidate and just go, I'm running, sign a piece of paper and be a paper candidate. That's not who I am. It's a waste of time and money and energy. Why would I do that? When I ran the first time, when I was done running, I was 6 figures in debt, right? Most people don't know that, but I was literally 6 figures. I was already 6 figures in debt. And when I ran the second time, I was only about 40K in debt when I was done, which is still horrible. I mean, I was just in debt. Why was I in debt? Was I raising money? I was. But all my bills just piled up. I think about it. 4 people in New York City. That's a lot of debt. So I had a lot of debt at the end of it. Do I want to do it again? If I can make impact. Second piece. If I run again, I'm going to be bugging you guys for money, bugging you guys for time, bugging you guys to do stuff, and bugging you guys to what I do now. Like, I'm not going to be clicking the like button. I'm like, click the damn like button now. Share everything. Tell your friends. I'm going to be going crazy. I'm going to be raising money every day, right? It's what I'm going to be doing. It's how it works. Well, if I'm going to sit here and bug you guys to do the thing, show up at the event, share my stuff, but if I'm going to be doing this every day and bugging you and asking you to do stuff, it's got to be because I want to make impact. In 2018, I raised $500,000. But why did I do that? Because I was bugging people and making it happen so I can make impact, and I did. In 2022, I believed I could. I raised $500,000 again, but I couldn't make impact. I failed. I'm only going to run in 2026 if I believe I can make impact. It's not fair to you, me, my friends, you, your friends, your family, my family, for me to make a run if I think I can't make impact. It's unfair for some stupid vanity project. And sadly, most independents run for vanity projects. Most libertarians run for vanity projects. Most do. I don't want to be that guy. I don't need that. I don't mean to be mean, but I have a show with my name on it. I've already been on Joe Rogan. I don't require that anymore. I'm already the most popular Larry Sharpe in the country. If you Google Larry Sharpe, it's all me. There was, by the way, a wrestler who was more popular than me. His name was Pretty Boy Larry Sharpe from the 70s. I used to watch him and loved him because he had my name. He passed away in 2018. And when he passed away, I became the most popular Larry Sharpe in the country. So I'm good. I want to make impact, or I don't want to do it. So I appreciate that. I'd rather support somebody else. I supported RFK Jr. when he was running. He was going to make more impact than I could have made in 2024. So I was happy to support him. If I think I'm going to make it back in 2026, I'll run it. But if there's someone else who could do it, I would support them. I care about impact, not about me being a super cool guy. I'm already a super cool guy. Clearly. I want to make sure I make impact. That is my issue. And again, if I'm going to bug you, I'm like, hey, give me more money. It's because we can make some impact. That's the issue. So, yes. All right, grab some more of these. That Liberty Lady says, viewer numbers have tripled since last night's show. Keep it up, Sharpies. Follow Larry on all the socials, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Rumble, Twitch, Getter, and LinkedIn. I am on all of them. Yes. Whatever you're on, type in Larry Sharpe, I'm on it. Guaranteed. Yes. Kim says, oh, the old Oreo. Yes, the Oreo too. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Alexa says, my sister still harsh takes to me since. Yeah. It hasn't gone away. Joel says, I think it was the Jeffersons that had an episode on the Brown Paper Bag Club. George was too dark to join. You know, Joel, you brought up a very interesting point when it comes to race. I often, my daughters are younger. My youngest daughter is 14, almost 15. My oldest is 20. And they kind of grew up in this world of everything's race. America's horrible and racist. When I show them some of the shows from the 70s and 80s, they're blown away by it. Like, what? I'm like, yeah. As I was growing up, race was getting better and better and better. What destroyed racial relationships in America was the war on drugs and the war on poverty. Black Americans were getting better in every way, shape, and form. Finally, for decades after the Civil War, Black Americans were physically being hunted by the government, not by individuals, crushed by government rules, regulations, government segregation laws. Finally, after the 50s and 60s, Segregation went away. I mean, legally, and black people started to grow. It was happening everywhere. You were seeing it. TV shows like The Jeffersons, Good Times, they were magical for people. I mean, Cosby till he became that guy, Cosby too. But it was the war on drugs that made every black guy all of a sudden bad. Then it was the crime bill, which literally decided, oh, okay, we're going to now take the black kid out of the family and put them in jail for everything. We're going to put them all away forever. It was all that. It was government that made it work. And when you imagine for a second, if you're listening now, watching now, try to imagine, if you could for a moment, if there was no war on drugs, there was no pushing of crack, didn't happen. The opioid crisis, when it was noticed, was immediately dealt with and didn't wait until it affected white communities, right? The opioid crisis, we had opioid crisis starting in 2000s. No, we didn't. It started in the 80s, the 90s in the black communities, and then came to white communities and then became real. What if it had been taken care of right away and it wasn't pushed and we weren't putting anybody in jail? There was no crime bill. There was no war on drugs. Didn't exist. And all America saw when it came to black people wasn't cops and boys in the hood. It wasn't that. It was George Jefferson. It was Good Times. It was Cosby. It was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Imagine if that's what America saw. How would we be thinking and dealing with black people right now? Very different world. It was going well already. It was going well already. One of the most popular buddy movies was Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon, black man, white man. Literally a black guy and Mr. Crazy Mel Gibson did 4 of them. Lethal Weapon, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 80s. That was happening. The best buddy film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's hanging out, right, with Carl Witherspoon. Remember that? That was happening already. That was already there. That was already happening. Our government, with their overreach, with their war on drugs and their war on poverty, removed the black father from the family, put the black father in jail, and decided to destroy the black community. And it worked. Decided to show every night on TV cops, where it's just cops beating up black people, to make everybody think it's all crazy. To have Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton call black people in cities super predators. Remember that? Remember that? Super predators? Yep. Everything that was being built up was destroyed. So yes, The Jeffersons was a great show. The Jeffersons was a great show. It made people think that we can all just be together. You know, it's funny. I remember Colin Powell, before he passed, he wrote a book called My American Journey. I read the book years ago, 90s, he put it out. And he mentioned something. He said, I would rather have America see Amos and Andy, as racist as it was, than cops. And when asked why, he said, because at least when America saw Amos and Andy, they saw a black family. You got me going on that one, Joel. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the comments tremendously. I hope it was interesting. So, yes. I hope my response was interesting. I try to give you my honest opinions on these things. So, yes. Mastermind Hours says, I used to be a huge Crystal fan. I still like, well, not as much. I liked Crystal for a long time, right? I did. I liked her a long time. Now I'm like, something's wrong. I don't know. I feel like something's up. That's it. Nico says, you guys think she didn't change her name to Kalinsky because she didn't want to drop the ball? You guys are cracking all the jokes tonight. You guys are cracking all the jokes tonight. I love it. Cracking all the jokes. I love that. All righty. I'm looking over at Instagram, and ATYARB says, white man can't jump. Yes, buddy film. You're right. Wesley Snipes, buddy film. Yes, 100%. White man can't jump. Another one. I completely agree. Yes, he's totally right. This was already happening. Like, we were on our way. All we had to do was get government out of the way. When we finally got the segregation laws removed, we started to make things better, but it didn't go as well as it could have gone. But yes, government had to get back involved and trash stuff all again. So, yeah. Phil says, live with Austin, Joe Rogan instead of Malibu Joe would have been fun. He just had a good conversation with Woody Harrelson. Yeah, maybe. When I was on Rogan, he was still in California. That's true. Yeah. He was still on Rogan. He was still in California. So yeah, it's true. It's different. Missy, thank you. She did put the Rogan episode right there. If you want to check it out, it is in the chat. It's in the chat on also. Liberty Lady also put it in the chat in Rumble. It's also here in the chat on YouTube. So if you want to go check it out, please feel free. All good. If you want to watch it, that would be great. So, yep. Mastermind says, I have a little crush on Brie Brie. I would love to have a little Brie Brie. I'm with you, Mastermind Hour. I would love that. I don't think she's interested in me, though, but yes, she does not. Yeah. If she is doing a very poor job of showing. So I do not think she's interested in me at all. So I don't think I get any Brie Brie. I don't think I do. But I'm with you. She is a wonderful person, and she is super attractive also. 100%. If you're watching, Brianna, you know you are super attractive. It's all good. So yes, agreed. Wonderful person, super attractive, 100%. Yes. Nico says there was no better rising than the hill, than Robbie cut her up a lot. Yes, but she fought back. She did. She fought back. Yes, 100%. Yes, that is true. Yes, she was great. All righty. Let me grab a couple more. Again, Mastermind, Bernie is the kid levitating blocks. Ooh, I like that. I remember something though. Remember what? No, he's not. You can't know, Master. He's not, because the kid levitating the blocks actually knows stuff. Remember, the kid levitating the blocks in the movie is actually says one of my favorite things. Oh no, wait, is that the same one that does the spoon? Or not? Now I'm confused. Hold on, you got me going. I'm talking about a spoon kid. The spoon kid is what I love because he says the most important thing, which is what I'm telling you all. It's my favorite quote from the movie. He says, when bending the spoon, don't concentrate on bending it. He says, instead, concentrate on the truth. And Neo says, what truth? He says, there is no spoon. Yeah, there is no spoon. It's all the Matrix. They don't concentrate on it. Yeah. So all the time, when you're talking about, political people, don't concentrate on how they help the constituents. Why? They don't want to help the constituents. Yes. Follow the money. That's it. Follow the money. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. Follow the money. Shane says, why is there only one like button? There should be multiple. I agree. Click those buttons. Absolutely. Click all of those buttons. They are important. I do want them to be clicked. Yes, absolutely. Look, I'm going to ask you again. I always do. Click the button known as like. Also share if you can. Please subscribe and follow. They all matter. Select all notifications whenever you do sign up. It does matter. I love all your super chats. Thank you for those. If you become a member, please do so. Membership does matter. Every time someone becomes a member, it makes it easier for me to do less work and spend more time doing this. So yes, that piece is very important. I do appreciate all the time that you guys are giving me. Guys, I do think, hold on. There's a thing I do want to bring up here. Hold on. There's a question I do want to bring up. I just saw it. Kim says, when was Black Wall Street destroyed? For those of you who understand what I just talked about, if you actually care about, if you actually want a succinct history of Black people in America, I did a very good one. I think it was in 2019. It was my Juneteenth show. It's about an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and it covers all that. There was more than one Black Wall Street, by the way, which is why I'm saying there's actually more than one. See if I can find it. Hold on. I will, if I can get that one out. It's one of my best shows, and it's interesting. Yes, it was for 2021, 4 years ago. All right, yes. Is my live special Juneteenth Sharpe Way. Government has ensured that we struggle with race issues. If you have a second, you can put that in. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Juneteenth. Put it into Google or into that. It is an hour and 20 minutes long. It goes through the entire thing. It's not that. It's very good. I explain how it worked, how the government made everything terrible, how the government made us racist. I'm not joking. How the government made us racist is literally how I explain how it worked. How people are not naturally racist. We are naturally tribal. There's a difference. And how the government actually made it. I start from 1619 and go all the way through. So please have a moment when you have a chance, Kim. It was the 1920s. Black Wall Street was destroyed right after World War I. Why? After each war, black people fought in the wars. And when they came home, many of them brought their weapons, brought stuff, and brought the training home and thought, well, I fought in a war, so I now deserve the rights of everybody else. I deserve those rights. Of course I do, right? I deserve those rights. And people said, oh, no, we have to stop that because then you might be considered equal. We can't have that. And so the government stepped in and said, no, 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 no. Because the sad part is many of the of white people were like, yeah, that's kind of right. You fought for us. That, yeah, you're right. I get that. And the government said, we can't have that. So we had to change that. That was the reason. Remember, when it came to segregation, were there separate Mexican units? No. Right? They weren't. You could just be in a regular unit. It was only segregated for black. Now, the exception was during World War II, there were Japanese-only units because, as I said before, FDR really hated the Japanese. Like, he really hated them. But you could be Chinese and be in any of the unit. You could be Mexican, be in the unit. If you ever seen the movie Fury, which is a World War II setting movie with Brad Pitt, the driver of the tank's Mexican. Because you could be Mexican, couldn't be black. So, and then, that's government. Do you think the Brad Pitt's guy would have cared if his driver was black or Mexican or whatever? He wouldn't have cared. Government cared. Government cared. How do I know that? Because when Vietnam came and blacks and whites were together, there were race issues also, but they also loved each other. So, yeah, it didn't matter. So, yes. Mike Voss is in the house. Thank you, Mike. He says, Cosby Show, successful normal family. Prince of Bel-Air, same, different world. Black college kids. We have no equivalent to that. Yes, I had forgotten Different World. You're right. Yes, I've forgotten Different World. You're right. The Different World showed, hey, black kids can go to college, right? Like, it just showed black people being black people, which was being humans, which is what I want everyone to think because it's true. Black people are just people, right? That's it. So, yes. I wanted to make sure that was clear. So, yes. All righty. I think I grabbed all of those. Yes, I did. Rick says Tulsa 1920. Yes, 1920 was right after. There was more than one Black Wall Street, but that's the popular one we all know about. That was 1920, right after World War I, which ended 1918. So that's when that happened. I hope that it was clear. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for this evening. I kept you a little bit later than normal. I know. I wanted to grab extra questions, and I know some of you like these to deal with these issues. Please, I will be on next week. I'll be on tomorrow. Again, tomorrow at 7. I'll be on tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, I am traveling. So again, if you want to come see me in New York, I'm happy to see you. 6 different trips, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'll be back here on Monday afterwards. So guys, here's what I'm asking you. When I'm done with this, please come back on and tell me your favorite show from the 70s, 80s, or 90s, depending on how old you are. 70s, 80s, or 90s that in some way included black people. What was your favorite show from the 70s, 80s, or 90s, depending on how old you are, that included black people? Please give me your favorite one. I want to hear that and see what that is. I will see you all very soon.